Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills and a dense, dark forest, lived a young lad named Eric. He was known for his insatiable curiosity and adventurous spirit. But what the villagers didn't know was that their dear Eric had a secret. A secret that lay hidden in his late grandfather's attic. One rainy afternoon, while exploring his grandfather's things, Eric stumbled upon an old, leather-bound book tucked away in a dusty corner. As he opened it, a brittle, yellowed map fell out. The map depicted a winding path leading deep into the dark forest, a place the villagers avoided at all costs. What caught Eric's eye was a peculiar symbol marking a spot deep in the woods. It looked like a chest overflowing with gold coins. Could this be the legendary troll's treasure? The one his grandfather used to tell him fantastical stories about. With a heart full of excitement and a knapsack filled with provisions, Eric set off into the woods. The path from the map was barely visible, hidden under a carpet of fallen leaves and overgrown with thorny bushes. The trees formed a thick canopy overhead, blocking out the sun and casting long, eerie shadows on the ground. As Eric pushed through the underbrush, he could have sworn he heard whispers and felt eyes watching him from the trees. After what seemed like hours, the trees began to thin and the path opened into a small clearing. In the center stood a moss-covered stone archway, almost like a gateway to another world. Eric hesitated for a moment, his heart pounding in his chest. Then, taking a deep breath, he stepped through the archway and into the unknown. The forest on the other side of the archway was eerily silent. The trees were twisted and gnarled, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The air grew colder and a thick fog began to roll in, making it difficult to see the path ahead. Just when Eric's spirits were at their lowest, the fog began to clear and he saw a beautiful sight before him. A sparkling waterfall cascaded down a rocky hillside, creating a pool of crystal-clear water at its base. And there, beside the waterfall, was a small cottage made of smooth, flat stones. As Eric approached the cottage, he noticed strange symbols carved into the stones. Suddenly, the door of the cottage swung open and a tiny wizened old woman appeared. She introduced herself as a guardian of the forest and welcomed Eric into her cottage. She explained that to reach the treasure, he had to solve 3 riddles she posed. And so Eric found himself seated around a table laden with food and drink, listening intently as the old woman posed her first riddle. Each riddle Eric solved, the old woman led him to another trial. First, there was a narrow bridge over a chasm, then a thicket of thorny bushes that cut and scratched at his clothes. Finally, he had to walk barefoot over a bed of sharp stones. But Eric persevered, and after each trial, the path ahead became clearer and the old woman's riddles became easier. At last, when Eric reached the final gate leading to the treasure, a huge troll emerged, blocking the way. The troll challenged Eric, saying that if he could lift the heavy gate, he would let him pass. But if he failed, the troll would capture him and toss him into the nearby volcano. The thought of being trapped inside the volcano, never to be seen again, terrified Eric. Struggling to lift the heavy gate, Eric realized that brute strength wouldn't be enough. He needed a clever plan. Thinking quickly, Eric took off his ring and offered it to the troll, saying it was enchanted to make whoever wore it strong enough to lift the gate. The troll, eager to claim the treasure for himself, accepted the ring. As soon as the troll put on the ring, Eric shoved him, sending the enormous gate crashing to the ground. The troll, surprised by Eric's trickery, was initially furious, but seeing the determined look on Eric's face, he couldn't help but feel a grudging respect. Impressed by Eric's cleverness and courage, the troll stepped aside, allowing Eric to enter. Inside, Eric found chests overflowing with gold and jewels. But more importantly, he had found something far more valuable, a treasure of experience and self-discovery. He had faced his fears, outsmarted a fearsome troll, and proven that sometimes the greatest treasures are the challenges we overcome. With his heart filled with joy and his knapsack filled with riches, Eric made his way back home. As he walked, he knew that he would never forget his adventure. He had ventured into the darkest parts of the forest and emerged not only with riches, but with a tale of heroism and heart.